Welcome everyone to Click Moments, where the right information at the right time is a portal from where you are to where you want to be. And I'm your host, Beth Orr, and today we're going to talk about love, peace, and joy. And I want to talk about this because number one, it has come to me in many conversations and it's just gripping me right now. Bridget and I just did a podcast on our other podcast, Click Moments and Passionate Pursuits, about these topics that just get us. They grip us. They will not let us go until we understand what they're here to teach us. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, but with one specific topic that continues to grip me because I feel like it's not only relevant to me, but as I've had conversations with many other people about this topic, it's relevant to you guys too. So let me ask you a question. How much love, peace, and joy do you really allow yourself to experience in any given day? Do you ever really think about that? Do we sometimes parcel it out, or we think that if it just happens on occasion, so is life? I don't know about you, but sometimes I get taught that we have these ups and downs in life. So we just got to ride them. But I am really starting to ask myself anytime I have a belief system that kind of starts making me go, where did I get that? And is this true? That's what I ask myself. Is this true? And what I've started to be a student of is, are there all these opportunities that right now are maybe filled with the mundane, or periods of time in which I have already in my mind said, well, this is something that's neutral. This is a void space, like doing the dishes or mowing the lawn or any of those kinds of things. But is that true? Are those times or opportunities that are void of any kind of positive potential or emotion, right? So this topic has come up because I think it's an opportunity for us to feel more love, peace, and joy. And as I've started to focus on it, that's exactly what's happened. So I have to share this with you because to me, I am not, the Buddhists would say that we shouldn't crave or avert something, right? And I'm not craving more love, peace, and joy, but I'm also not averting the feelings that come up when any feeling comes up. I'm like, it's solely a curiosity that I have about what is this here to tell me? If I feel sad or I feel frustrated, what is this here to tell me? Is there some residual dust in here that I need to get like pay attention to and give some airtime to so that I can move it out and create some space to have more of the goodness in my life in this space? What is this, right? And so love, peace, and joy, they're frequencies. We know this. I'll just go through a brief, like the Hertz frequency scale is a 0 to 1,000 with heavy, dense emotions like guilt and shame down at the bottom. With 20s and 30s, they're heavy. They hold us down. I think they hold us down because they want us to pay attention to it, right? To give it some airtime so that we sit still with it and we observe it and witness it and understand it before we can move on from it, create some space in here for lighter emotions. But it goes up to 1,000, this Hertz frequency scale. And in this, up to 700 is enlightenment. But love is 500, joy is 540, and peace is 600. Now, what I love about this is that it gives us an understanding with why love and peace and joy, we feel so light. These are actually emotions that when they've been measured, that are less dense, it brings us closer to the divine frequency, right? And so that's up here. And so the higher that our frequency goes, the more we're matching this divine universal frequency that's measurable. This is like, once we understand that these higher level emotions are going in a direction or are the essence of us that we're able to emit that brings us closer to the divine, the more we want to be devoted. It's like, for me, it's like a practice. Like when I practice experiencing love, peace, and joy, what I'm saying to the universe is, I want to get close to you. I notice that all of these other emotions are human emotions that disconnect me from you. Now it can connect me when I'm down in that space to the theory of you, but I can't get into an experience of you, the divine, unless I'm experiencing love, peace, and joy. So I want to become a student of that. I want to understand, how do I draw more of that to me? Because we know that if love, peace, and joy are frequencies, and we're frequencies, so they're frequencies out here, but we have a frequency in here through the law of attraction. The law of attraction tells us that whatever our vibrational frequency is, it's going to attach out here to the circumstances, people, and outcomes, and all of the situations that are going to be attached to our particular vibration. So if we want to experience more love, peace, and joy in our life, we have to be love, peace, and joy before we can experience more love, peace, and joy. I mean, we can just wait around. We can hope that we pass it and hope that we are able to change to their vibration. But then it puts the control of this into outside of us. And there's no reason why we can't experience more love, peace, and joy, because we experience it and we're devoted to it and we're practicing it. And then it will bring the circumstances, people to us that match what we're experiencing. So what's interesting about this is that, well, there's many things that are interesting, but one of the things that I find interesting is that when we want more love or a particular type of love, the first thing that is important to do is to recognize and be grateful for the love that we already have in our lives. So if I want, let's just say a relationship. If you want a relationship, like a romantic partnership, then you may not have it and you may feel an absence of it. But in the absence of it, then you are having more absence of it because you're giving awareness to the vibration of separation. So you're going to be separate from that. But what the practice then becomes is being grateful for all the love that we already have. When we have family, when we have close friendships, when we have people in our community that we're connected to and we love for the hearts and the people and the roles that they have in our lives, when there are all of these, like maybe we love our house or we love our community or we love that we can walk out and see this beautiful sunset at the end of the day, whatever it is that we love in our life, the more we honor that and give gratitude towards that love, then what we're saying to the universe is, we see it. Thank you. We aren't separate from it. We're acknowledging that we see what we have and we're grateful for it. And then we allow ourselves to experience more of the things that we love. Same thing with things that give us peace. If you have some place in your neighborhood where you can go and you can sit, or you can even just go in a separate room and you can take a moment to have silence. Wherever it is, whatever it is that you're doing that gives you peace, to give gratitude towards that, cultivates more of that experience and that feeling inside of you, more things to be grateful for, more things to actually feel peace about. So, and you may say, well, yeah, but that's always my resting state. I always feel love and appreciation, or I always feel peace when there's a peaceful situation, or I always feel joy in certain situations. But what I'm asking is do we sometimes have this fixed belief system about where we can experience love, peace, and joy? And because we think we know where those places are at, it limits us from experiencing and receiving love, peace, and joy in the here and now. So let me give you an example. The other day, I was doing the dishes, and all of a sudden I felt this swirling inside my body. And I was like, ooh, I'm familiar with that emotion. That's excitement. And it's interesting because anxiety and excitement can feel the same in the body. They actually do feel the same, but it's our mind that gives meaning to that feeling. So the experience of excitement, the experience of anxiety, it's the same feeling inside of our body, but our mind says if it's anxiety or excitement. So I tune in and I am like, wow, I'm doing the dishes and I feel excited. I don't know if I usually allow myself to feel excited doing dishes. I think normally when I'm doing dishes, I'm like, I'm doing dishes and it's kind of neutral. I'm like, it's just something that has to be done. But is that true? Which then started me to realize that there are all of these beautiful moments in our life that honestly are truly beautiful and peaceful moments. So why wouldn't I use that as an opportunity to practice cultivating these more of these feelings? So for example, why wouldn't I feel peace while I'm doing dishes? When you are feeling peace, what are you feeling? I feel safe. Be thinking out loud, like right now while I'm talking about this. What is the quality in your mind and in your body and in your spirit when you're feeling at peace? When I feel peace, I take that big breath. I can rest. My body knows that this is safe. This space is safe. So I can give gratitude for feeling safe, right? I can give gratitude for safety. When I'm feeling peace, there's a softness. That's a lightness because light, it's like my body all of a sudden rose quickly. It doesn't take long for an emotion to rise inside of us. If you don't believe me, then how fast do you get mad? You can go from 0 to 100, people say. Well, why can't you go from 0 to 100 to be happy? You can. You can see a child laugh and you can start laughing. You immediately go to that. So we can shift our mood quickly. So when we have an awareness that it's neutral, which is like, I think neutral is 200, but it's a low level, but it's up there. It's a little higher. At least we're not feeling negative emotions. We're getting to a higher quality, right? But when it's neutral, we can still go higher. It's just a point of awareness that says, oh, this is where I am now. Okay. There's nothing wrong with being neutral. There's never anything wrong with any of our emotions if we understand what they're there to teach us and how we utilize the emotions as opposed to giving them so much power to say that we are what they are. That is just not true, right? So we can pivot. So as I'm doing the dishes, I realize that I'm feeling calm, feeling this higher level emotion. And I'm actually, because I feel safe, I'm feeling super grateful. And then I have this awareness that I actually have even more to be grateful for because I have food and beverages that I'm cleaning up the dishes because I actually had the opportunity to have food and take care of myself. And I had beverages, so I have my biological needs met. So in this moment, I'm happy and grateful for that. And because we have these moments several times a day, we can become unaware of the importance of them as these opportunities to deeply embed gratitude. This is what we used to do when we were growing up, and hopefully many of us are still doing now, which is, when we have a meal, we give gratitude. We say grace over it, but we're basically giving gratitude for what we have. We recognize that. We don't say, "Oh, well, I did that yesterday or did that earlier today." We keep doing it because we understood deeply somewhere in our genes that this was a practice that was good for us. But now we can learn from that because we've measured it. And so we can say, not only is this good for us, but we can do it beyond food. We can do it with dishes. We can do it when we're folding clothes. We can do it when we're ironing clothes. We can do it when we're hanging our clothes up. And I'm encouraging this as a practice that you get into because it is, if you're going to have neutral time and you're going to have it anyway, isn't neutral time better than time that you're like, I don't want to do this, but I have to? Neutral time's better than that because it's a higher vibration and it's giving something inside of us that gets us closer to the experience that we're here to feel, which is more love, peace, and joy in our life. But once we realize that it's there as a neutral space that can be shifted into gratitude for more or a moment right now of love, peace, and joy, as we're experiencing that moment, it's cultivating more of that as a resting place inside of us. It's almost like our body says to the universe, oh, this is what we do. We have love, peace, and joy. When we have a moment where there is nothing already, our resting space is love, peace, and joy. We don't go to boredom. We don't go to boring, or sad or frustrated or uncertain or regurgitating all the past stuff. Instead, we go to love. I love that I have these dishes. I chose these dishes. They're so beautiful. They make me happy. When I'm eating, I have this beautiful space and background to my food and my beverages. Thank you for that. Or joy. Oh, I'm inside. It's cold out. It's in the 20s. I'm warm inside. I'm so grateful for that. I feel so much joy about being in this space with this warm food and getting nourished. And I feel so much peace. I'm safe. I'm just eating my food. I don't have to protect it from anybody else. I'm not in that phase of our species evolution. I'm literally in a safe space. And you may say, duh, but why would we be duh? Because it's where we have been. We've been in a space of underutilizing these spaces. And I'm not manipulating or coercing what is to be something else for a reason of any kind of gain. It's actually, I'm looking at this as an opportunity to show my devotion to being fully present and alive in this world. I'm committed to this experience. I want my resting space to be one of more love, peace, and joy. And this doesn't mean that I'm avoiding what is. So, for example, I've had times in my life where I've had really bad things happen, and I've had to more recently let go of people that have had to move on because there wasn't anything more to do here. Like their body gave out. And in that time that I was there, and it was an intensely emotional space, of course I felt grief and sadness and all of those things. But coexisting along with it was like a new emotion. It was like now I had sadness and those types of emotions, but I also had tremendous peace in knowing the real truth of the situation. The truth of the situation is it wasn't just what I could see here. But now that I fully understand that the other side is truly a veil that's like right here, then that means that there is a truth that permeates everything else that allows for this to be a space where I can experience love, peace, and joy because I see the illusion of what it looks like is here for what it is, an illusion. And so it allows for me to have this open receptivity, and I'm much more in a space of looking for the true is now, like the actual situation that I find myself in, which is so many reasons to give gratitude for my life. And I'm sure that you could do the same if in every single moment you were in that practice of saying, what could I feel? What could I feel happy or good or positive about right now? Um, I also want to point out that sometimes we really get stuck on, yeah, but I know this. And for me, one of the things I had to ask myself was, is that true that I know this? Because if I knew this, then it wouldn't be coming up and I wouldn't be missing these opportunities or finding new ways to feel more love, peace, and joy, or seeing opportunities as practices, like times that I practice, no different than when I lift weights and I'm getting muscles in my arms or in my body in different spaces that I see that need that experience. I'm also giving my heart and in my body these opportunities to feel these emotions because I know that sometimes love, peace, and joy hasn't been my state in moments where it could be. So let me give you an example. And I'll start with a question for you. Has love always worked out for you? Have you felt love and it not work out? That's rattling around in there. And if it is rattling around in there, we have to reconcile that that experience was for us to learn something, or that experience was what it was, but it's in the past. And so it's not now. And if it is still now in any way, to where even a part of you went, oh, then there's something in you that is still holding some truth to that, which means that love is complicated. Sometimes it's here, sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it's what you expect, sometimes it's not what you expect. But when that's the case, and it's rattling around in there and we don't have awareness of it, then it's got an operating system going that we don't have control over. And we don't have to have control over everything if we have faith. But if we don't have faith 100%, then it could be creating a lens that from the law of attraction is drawing something to you that we unintentionally don't want. So we have to be aware of what our beliefs are on peace and what our beliefs are on love and what our beliefs are on joy in order to look at different opportunities of things that have happened to us to say, where can we brush up some things, get some things kind of cleaned up? I'm not trying to be 100%. And I hope that you're not trying to be either, or that we're not being hard on ourselves. We don't want to be hard on ourselves. But what we do have are opportunities to pay attention to the big ones, the ones that we know are gripping us or have hurt us, and to reconcile that. Because once we reconcile that, it allows for us to be more willing to go in and have more love, peace, and joy in our lives. And that experience, like I said, that resting experience, that practice will mean that when you start doing that and you start cultivating using these opportunities where something mundane is happening or something that you feel a tremendous amount of love, when you start laughing at your grandchild for playing in the park and you're like, oh my gosh, they're so happy and I'm so happy watching them. When you allow yourself to see it for what it is and not just experience it, but allow yourself to like, oh my gosh, I feel so much joy. I feel so happy. That awareness and going deeper into it and allowing yourself to be fully present allows for you to cultivate more of that opportunity for that to come within you. The universe is like, oh, this is a space where we're doing that. Like it's connected to it, right? So if you can look for those opportunities, just choose one. Choose one thing that you're going to start feeling that more and allow yourself to not have this neutral, mundane mentality, but that you're like, no, I'm actually going to sit with this while I'm doing the dishes. I'm actually going to be like, what's around me that I'm super grateful for and why is this time so special? And start to notice how it shifts your experience, which then means that you've just added one more exercise or daily practice where you feel more of an emotion that you want more of. And so cultivating that, I will propose to you to be curious about how you notice that your resting state is more of that, that you can grab for an intentional emotional experience in different times whenever you're practicing something and you know what that feeling feels like, you know how to generate it. And when you know how to generate it and you know what it feels like, then you can intentionally interject it into your experience as opposed to allowing for it just to unfold on its own willy-nilly. As a human that can be very um, unpredictable, we start to be intentionally more of what we want, right? We start to pull from that. So before we go into our meditation, which I'm going to lead you through a meditative exercise, I want to propose one more concept with this. We know that when we're playing, when we're having fun, when we're unscripted, that it takes us 20 times of a concept being introduced to us to learn it or to have it embodied. And what that means is that we don't have to work as hard. It almost becomes automatic. It takes us 400 times when we're not playing to hear a concept. So when it's like this, even, unless you're dancing around while you're listening to it and you're hearing this and you're dancing or doing something fun, this will be something that you will take in 400 times before it's going to click. And that's where this comes from, click moment. There'll be a moment that you're listening to something, and I don't know how many times you've heard this concept or that you've been practicing love, peace, or joy as your resting state or something that you can pull on more reliably. Then at some moment, you're going to have a click moment and you're going to be doing the thing. You're going to be looking out the window and you're just going to be resting and looking out the window, and all of a sudden you're going to go, I'm just happy. I just feel so much joy. And you won't know why that's just your resting place, but it will be because of all of the times that you were devoted to these little moments that you were like, I'm just going to cultivate more happiness right now. I have some free time. I'm going to choose in my free time to just feel joy. And if you don't see anything around you to feel joy of, like right now, I feel joy because I see a tree that's gorgeous. It's bare, there's no leaves on it, and it's just in its full beauty. And I am experiencing joy for looking and witnessing this beautiful, gorgeous tree. I know its roots because it's like this. Its roots are like this. So it's down here. I know its roots are all over, all over, because it's like this, which means it needs that and it's pulling from other trees. And because I understand that this is what's happening, I have goosebumps right now because I get the depth of the joy of witnessing this tree. But if I didn't see something around me that I could say, I could feel joy about, then I could anchor into this moment with another time that I felt joy and pick something recent. You don't want to go all the way into the past. Pick something recent if you have something. If you want to go into the past, okay, but try to be as present as possible to start witnessing these moments of joy. Maybe it's that you spent time with somebody that you were laughing so hard with. You had dinner with some friends that you're like, good grief, these two, these are some amazing humans. Whoever it is, whatever the situation, allow yourself to experience that. And so when I'm talking about these different emotions, keep in mind that allow yourself to go deeper into them. Allow yourself to realize the people that bring you these emotions in your life. Bring them closer, right? We want to allow for our friends and family and people and situations in our life that bring more of those emotions. We want to honor those and lean in, right? So understand that when you take in a concept once, twice, 100 times, 200 times, 300 times, 400 times, it's because at some point you won't have to take in that concept anymore. It'll just become a part of you. That's what it means to be embodied. It's now just a part of you. No different than 2 plus 2 is 4. No different than, your hair color is your hair color and you know it, right? Um, Understand that the reason you're bringing it in is because you want it to become second nature. This isn't like breathing yet. It's not just happening on its own, right? You've got to make it a part of you. And to be a part of you, you have to focus on it. And so use those opportunities that you have in your life for that. Now, I'm going to lead you through a meditation. It's something that you can go back to if you choose to, for those of you that would like a meditation to feel more love, peace, and joy in your life. And as I'm going through this exercise, I'm going to remind you of the Hertz frequency scale of each of these emotions, just so that you can start to notice how it feels in your body, so that you start to become a real student and learn what these emotions feel like inside of you. Okay. So if you can just be seated wherever it's comfortable, maybe you have a chair that you like to sit in, maybe you have a particular space that you have for meditation. Maybe you have a bean bag. Maybe there's a particular spot on the floor itself that you like to sit, but wherever is comfortable for you, be seated. I like to sit with my hands and my fingers facing up. You may lay your fingers down on your knees or on your legs, whatever's comfortable for you. Just allow your spine to stretch just a little. Allow yourself to be extended, your back to be extended. And just feel yourself stretching and being seated as straight as what feels comfortable. Now, if it's comfortable for you, close your eyes or have a soft gaze, kind of at a 45-degree angle, if you're going to keep them open, looking down in front of you, or just close them all together. And as you close your eyes, just start to notice your breath going in through your nose if your nasal passages are allowing for that today. Holding at the top for 1 second and then releasing out your mouth as hard or as light as you prefer. Sometimes I like to let that first breath out a little more hard. It tells my body it's time to rest. And just take a few breaths. Just keep letting your body feel that slowing down. All the cells are telling each other that there's nothing more to do right now, that you get to just be. And just keep breathing, noticing your body. And maybe if a space is feeling particularly heavy and you notice the difference, it's okay to pinch into that like your shoulder. Just move it around and then release it. Lift your shoulders and drop them down and just move them around and release it. Or maybe your knee needs to be moved or clenched and released. Just allow yourself to keep getting more settled and heavy and seated in this space, grounded in this space. Maybe put a soft smile on the corners of your mouth in recognition that this time is yours. I would invite you into your body right now and just notice the center of your chest. Notice that area where you would say your heart is. Just notice that area. And you know that your emotions allow for you to feel heavy or light. And you suddenly recognize that your heart frequency 500 that you know is a space that you feel great buoyancy. That when you feel this 500 love, that you feel it throughout your body, that you feel this presence, this happiness that now is here, that you feel this love. And you're just so grateful right now for that love. You feel it. Maybe you feel the desire to take your hands from where they are and to put them over your heart, one or both of them, if that feels good to you. And as you put your hand over your heart, that allows for you to tune in to its happiness. And suddenly you realize it's not just your heart, but your whole body that feels love. You may have a sense of why you feel so much love, and you may not. But you know that you're feeling it. You're so grateful for it. So grateful for the love that I feel inside me. I know this is a beautiful season that I'm celebrating and I'm giving thanks for. Thank you to the universe for allowing me to have this body that I'm cultivating and continuing to find what's right with it. Looking for all those ways that something is right inside my body, inside my mind, inside my body, my soul inside my body. This coexistence of this space of my mind, body, and spirit. Thank you so much for the love that I feel inside me. I feel it pulling and growing and pulsating. You can keep your hands on your heart or you can release them to wherever's comfortable. And as you breathe out, feel that love surging or seeping like molasses. Either is fine, whatever imagery feels right to you, to allow it to feel like it's moving throughout your body. And as this love gets pulled and bigger and bolder in your body, you notice that it's increasing. It feels more than 500. It feels bigger than that. And you're starting to feel beyond love. You feel joy. You feel that 540 joy. You feel lighter. You notice you sat up just a little bit more. It's almost like your body was being tugged out of your seat. It felt lighter. And you feel this joy. And you know now that love is always a part of joy, that there's always love within joy. The joy is just a little bit lighter. You feel this, oh, so much to feel joy about. There's so much goodness in your life. You see those things in front of you. You can feel those things that bring you so much joy. Oh, you bring yourself around them more often. You're so happy that you're giving yourself more moments in the mundane, the everyday moments that are not mundane at all. You see them anew. You see them fresh. You see them as joyous moments that they are, that you are a soul inside of a body, having a human experience to be able to be alive. That it's this fleeting opportunity that you're not afraid of, that you're like just aware that this is a moment that you are awake and that you are seeing however it is that is through the lens of who you are, and that you have the ability to be this joyous lens that sees things for the joy that they are. That a human being in front of you is this mutual opportunity to send and receive joy from each other. What a beautiful gift that we've been given. And when you see the tree that is just waving to you, you see the wind touching it and it moves, and you can feel what it must feel like to be that branch. There's so much joy in that. When you're in that space where you're in a kayak or a canoe and you can feel it gently moving back and forth, and you can feel the wind on your face, and you can feel the aliveness that you feel. Give thanks for this joy inside of you, for this moment, that you see it for what it is. It's something to be lifted up in so much happiness and praise and just attention to what is. Thank you. Thank you for this joyous feeling and this joyous moment that I can feel inside of me. Thank you for this outside of me happening, this moment outside of me that is giving me such tremendous joy inside. As above, so below. Thank you. Oh, and as you take a breath, you didn't expect to get taller, but you did. You felt yourself even lighter than that. And in this space where you're a little taller and a little lighter, and you feel just slightly different, you feel love and you feel joy. Now you feel peace. You went from 500 to 540 to 600. You feel this peace. And this peace is like, it is absolutely filled with love, because I feel so still and safe. I feel seen. I feel present. I want to be here. And I feel joy at being in this moment. But this peace has a stillness in it. It's like the higher I got into this moment, it's almost like reaching to weightlessness in space. And all of a sudden you catapulted through the different layers of our atmosphere, and then you broke that sound barrier and there was just stillness. There's no sound. It's just stillness inside you. As you look around in this stillness, you feel love because you feel belonging and you know that you belong here. And anytime you belong somewhere, there's deep love in your belonging. You feel that love in your belonging. You feel this amazing, amazing joy for being in this weightless, cared for, held space, and that you could feel this in any moment is a wonder to you, that you can shut your eyes and remember this space, that you can put yourself back together again. Remember this space, peace, anywhere that you are. What a beautiful, what a beautiful place to be. And I give so much thanks to this peaceful space that I have inside me, that I'm here and feeling it, knowing that if I can feel that here, I can feel this anywhere. Brings me even more peace. Love, joy, and peace coexist in this space of peace. It's all in one. And there's so much peace within that. We're going to breathe 3 breaths at your own speed to that realization. Taking 1 in now. And again. And you're going to take 1 last breath before slowly starting to come back into this space. And you're just going to allow those feelings to be inside you, resting in your heart space and in every cell of your body. And you're going to slowly, at your own pace, slowly start to open your eyes and allow the light around you to blink in. If you're like me, you have a little moisture in your eyes from that exercise. I have no idea how much time that was, probably 10 minutes. It doesn't matter. But it is an opportunity for you to see how quickly and how fully we can embody emotions that we want more of. Remembering that we're not trying to avoid what's in front of us. We're allowing ourselves to cultivate these emotions inside of us so that we can experience them more when life has situations that would be such that we would expect to feel those emotions. It's going to more readily come to you. It's going to with more intensity come up with inside you. You're going to feel those emotions more deeply, more embodied within you. Not something that you have to call up. I should feel joy. I just do feel joy. You're going to feel those more. And now you have an opportunity to practice and cultivate these whenever you're doing your everyday, not mundane, but your everyday things. These are going to be opportunities to feel that more. So, my friends, we get, as Rob Bell says, everything is spiritual. And I like to think of we get the opportunity in all things to feel more love, peace, and joy. Pretty soon, you'll have a click moment where you will have entire hours, entire portions of days, maybe even an entire day of experiencing this. And what this tells you is this that you're someone who is cultivating this. We all have the capacity. So in this new year, the second month of the new year, when things get real. I hope that you take this as a nudge and an opportunity to feel more love, peace, and joy in your life, my friends. More love, peace, and joy. Until next time.
Do with these words what you will. It's time for us to be for real. You'll be stuck on the ground until you finally break the shell.